Welcome to Neon Primer Go-to-Market, where Vega and Axon break down go-to-market strategy for founders who are done guessing. New episode every week.
When you look out your window on a Tuesday morning and see, like, a landscaping crew roll up to your neighbor's house, you probably just see a couple of guys with mowers.
Right, yeah. Just a normal suburban scene.
Exactly. It looks like the most straightforward business in the world. I mean, grass grows, you cut it, you get paid. It's dirt, it's loud engines, it's sweat.
Yeah, that's the perception.
But when you actually look under the hood of how the most profitable firms in the space operate, suddenly that simple picture completely shatters.
It really does. It's entirely different.
Because you're not looking at a lawn care company anymore.
Yeah.
You are looking at a hyperlocal, data-driven logistics network. So today, our mission for this deep dive is to extract the blueprint for dominating this fragmented, massive industry.
Which is largely based on this comprehensive strategy document we've been reviewing, the most effective go-to-market strategies for landscaping and lawn care firms.
Yeah, and the sheer scale here is just wild. Like, official census data shows employer firm revenue in this sector was well over $130 billion back in 2022. And industry estimates are projecting it to rocket toward nearly $190 billion by 2025 or 2026.
It is the absolute definition of a sophisticated business hiding in plain sight. I mean, despite that astronomical revenue, the market remains highly fragmented.
Right.
It's dominated by local independent operators rather than these massive national conglomerates. You rarely see an industry with, hundreds of billions of dollars on the table that hasn't been completely swallowed up by 3 or 4 corporate giants.
Okay, let's unpack this, because whether you listening right now are looking to start a local business, or maybe you want to invest in one, or honestly, if you just want to understand the hidden mechanics of the services showing up in your own neighborhood every week.
Which is fascinating on its own.
Totally. The secret to winning in this industry is logistics. It is not just having the sharpest mower blades.
Yeah. The core thesis of the source material is that the highest probability winning strategy for a new or growing firm relies on extreme geographic discipline.
Extreme geographic discipline.
Exactly. The winning model is a route-dense, recurring, maintenance-led local model.
Okay, wait. So if I'm looking at a nearly $200 billion market, my first instinct is to hunt whales.
Naturally.
Like, I want to go for the massive homeowner association contracts, the sprawling corporate campuses, the municipal city parks, get the biggest checks possible right out of the gate.
Right. But diving into these sources, that seems to be the most common and frankly often fatal trap for a new operator.
Really? Why is that fatal?
Because institutional work operates on an entirely different timeline and a different risk profile. Think about the mechanics of closing a commercial deal.
Okay.
It takes months of relationship building. You have to survive committee votes, board approvals.
Oh, yeah. Those HOA boards can be brutal.
Absolutely brutal. And even when you do win the bid, those entities usually pay on net 30 or even net 60-day terms.
Wow. So you're doing the work and waiting 2 months to see a dime.
Exactly. A new business carrying the overhead of labor, fuel, and equipment. They will literally suffocate waiting for that first massive check to clear.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So what is the actual way in?
The ultimate wedge into the market should actually be residential recurring service.
Yeah.
So weekly or biweekly mowing, edging, and blowing for single-family homes.
Okay, so it's kind of like playing Monopoly.
How do you mean?
Well, you don't just buy random properties scattered all over the board and hope for the best, right? You want to lock down one specific neighborhood, like all of the orange properties, so you can build hotels on them. You want absolute density.
That is a perfect analogy, yes.
And to your point about the cash flow, the residential homeowner is basically the perfect engine for that.
They really are.
Yeah.
Because the sales cycle is incredibly fast.
Right. They make a buying decision in like 5 minutes. They put a credit card on file, and you collect cash the exact same day the service is rendered.
Exactly. You are funding your own growth week by week, instead of begging a bank for a bridge loan while you wait on some slow city invoice to get processed.
That's a huge difference.
It really is. And beyond just the cash cycle, the source material breaks down a critical psychological difference in what these buyer personas are actually purchasing.
Okay, what do you mean? They're all buying lawn care, aren't they?
Well, the physical labor of cutting the grass is identical across the board, sure. But the actual product being sold is completely different.
Right, because if I'm a time-starved homeowner, I'm not really buying grass cutting. I'm buying my Saturday morning back.
Exactly.
I'm buying reliability. Like, I want to receive a text message saying the crew's on the way. I want my card auto-charged. And I just want the relief of pulling into my driveway and seeing a yard that just looks right without having to manage anyone.
Precisely. Now, contrast that with a property manager for an apartment complex.
Okay.
They do not care about a perfectly manicured lawn in the same emotional way a homeowner does.
Yeah.
They are buying predictable budgeting and low tenant complaints. They want documented compliance. They want one vendor who can handle snow removal, irrigation, and mowing so they don't have to manage 10 different phone calls.
Oh, sure. And what about those HOAs?
Take the HOA board. They are buying consistency and pricing that they can comfortably defend to 50 angry neighbors at a chaotic town hall meeting.
Oh, man, yeah. So what's fascinating here is that differentiation in this industry is operational and presentational before it is horticultural.
That's the exact phrase from the strategy doc.
You win by being remarkably easy to do business with, not necessarily by knowing, like, the Latin name of every shrub in the county.
Right, but knowing the homeowner's psychology doesn't matter if you can't rest them profitably.
It's very true.
Once you know who you are selling to, you have to figure out how to service them without bleeding money, which introduces the single most critical operational constraint in the entire home service industry.
The geography of profit.
Yes.
There's this golden rule in the strategy document that I loved. It says, do not market faster than you can route, quote, and retain.
It's the absolute core of the business.
Because if I'm mapping this out, windshield time is the absolute enemy of this business. Every single minute my crew is sitting in a truck, just driving across town, I am paying their hourly wages.
Yep.
I am burning diesel. I am putting wear and tear on a $60,000 truck, and I am generating zero revenue.
You are capturing the core unit economics perfectly. Long drive times directly erode your hourly revenue yield.
Wow.
So a compact service area of just 2 to 4 adjacent zip codes is mathematically superior to a massive, sprawling territory. Route optimization isn't just a back-office chore, it's the fundamental go-to-market strategy.
I have to admit, though, if I'm a new business owner, it feels terrifying to turn down a high-paying, one-off cleanup job just because it's 3 zip codes away.
It is terrifying. It goes against human nature.
Right. You have a truck, you have a crew, and someone is literally offering you $1,000 for a day's work. How does the source justify rejecting that revenue? The impulse to chase that cash is overwhelmingly strong.
It is, but a sprawling job might give you a quick hit of cash today while destroying your schedule tomorrow. An acceptable account is not just any account that pays you money.
Okay.
An acceptable account is one that fits the existing route sequence and has a logical path for future seasonal upsells.
I see. So if you take that job across town,
You are forcing your crew to delay your dense, profitable neighborhood routes. You degrade the reliability that your core customers are actually paying for.
and it's not just distance that dictates that schedule either. It's literally the sky above you. Seasonality seems to dictate the entire operational tempo.
Absolutely.
Like, you can't just promise a customer, oh yeah, we'll be there anytime this week, because weather constraints and labor shortages will completely break your calendar.
The biology of the region dictates the workflow, period.
Right.
For example, cool season turf requires heavy fertilization and aeration in the late summer and fall.
Mm-hmm.
While warm season turf demands attention in the spring and summer, you have to map out a 12-month calendar long before the grass even starts growing.
Wow.
And the labor reality tied to that seasonality is just immense. The industry is so reliant on labor availability that many firms depend entirely on H-2B temporary non-agricultural worker visas just to survive the peak seasons.
Which makes total sense when you think about it. The work is physically brutal, it requires long hours in the heat, and the demand curve isn't flat at all.
Not even close.
It's this massive explosion of growth in the spring. You can't just hire local high schoolers for a few hours after class anymore. You need a dedicated, full-time seasonal force.
And if you don't have that labor locked in, or, if 3 days of rain pushes your schedule back, a sprawling, poorly routed territory will guarantee you never catch up.
You're just constantly behind.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And that physical reality dictates the marketing strategy as well.
Yeah.
You don't just spray ads across the entire city hoping for the phone to ring.
Right.
The source outlines a highly sequenced digital moat, starting with the absolute foundation, which is a Google business profile, local SEO, and Google local services ads.
But wait, why lean so heavily into Google specifically? I assume most people would just, blast ads on Facebook or maybe rent leads from marketplaces like Angie or Thumbtack to get the phone ringing quickly?
Well, Google's local ranking algorithm explicitly emphasizes three things: relevance, distance, and prominence.
Distance.
Yes, it perfectly aligns with the dense route strategy. You would dominate the search results for people standing 3 streets over from your current job site.
Oh, that's smart.
And marketplaces like Angie, which boasts, millions of monthly opportunities, they might seem tempting for a quick fix, but relying on them is dangerous.
Why is that?
Because you are paying a premium for a rented lead. And worse, you are immediately competing purely on price with 5 other operators who just got the exact same lead.
Oh, so you're just racing at the bottom on price instead of building your own brand equity.
Exactly. It's a tactical valve for gap filling at best.
And with Facebook, I guess you're dealing with interruption-based marketing. You're showing up in someone's feed while they're looking at photos of their niece. It might work for visual upsells, like showing a gorgeous patio before and after to a neighborhood you already dominate. But it's terrible for capturing that immediate high-intent moment when someone looks at their overgrown lawn and says, I need someone to fix this today.
Spot on. But to capture that true neighborhood dominance, the strategy actually elevates a really surprising channel.
Okay.
USPS, every door, direct mail.
Wait, direct mail? I would have thought direct mail was completely dead, just expensive junk mail.
Most people do.
Yeah.
But it makes perfect sense in this context because the service is hyperlocal and visibly demonstrable.
Oh, I see. Because you aren't mailing the whole city, you are mailing the exact routes you are already mowing.
Exactly. Imagine a homeowner walks out to their mailbox, pulls out your postcard, and simultaneously hears your mowers running at the house next door.
Wow.
And they see your wrapped truck parked out on the street. That sensory overlap builds massive local trust.
That is brilliant. But I guess all the visibility in the world collapses without speed. Like, there's that stat from the Jobber 2026 report we looked at.
Right, the 60% rule.
Yeah, 60% of home service pros reply to leads the very same day. The data highlights a direct correlation. Higher earners respond faster.
Speed is the ultimate differentiator.
Because if you make a customer wait 3 days for a quote, you've already lost. Someone else auto-acknowledged their inquiry, did a remote measurement of their lot using satellite imagery, and texted them a binding estimate while you were still, listening to your voicemails.
It's ruthless. But here's where it gets really interesting.
Let's hear it.
Once those leads are converting and the routes are dense, you have to measure whether the business is actually building wealth or if the owner's just spinning their wheels trading time for dollars.
The unit economics.
Exactly. This requires modeling the business at the account level.
So the text uses the LTV to CAC ratio, right? Lifetime value compared to customer acquisition cost.
Correct.
Let's break that down. If you spend, say, a few $100 in marketing and sales time to acquire a neighbor, but they stick around for almost 4 years, the doc assumes a 3.6-year life and 72% retention. They are paying back your initial marketing cost nearly 8 times over in gross profit.
The exact ratio is 7.7x in that model.
Right. So for every dollar you put into the machine, roughly $8 come out.
That ratio is the absolute engine of wealth creation in home services. But the source material provides a really sobering sensitivity analysis here.
Okay, what happens?
This business model is incredibly fragile when confronted with operational sloppiness.
It's like trying to fill a bathtub with the drain wide open, right?
Yes. If you have bad routing or if your crews are constantly showing up late, your annual retention drops.
And if your marketing gets less efficient because you were buying bad leads outside your zone, your cost to acquire a customer shoots way up.
Precisely. If you drop to just 65% retention with a $600 CAC, that beautiful 7.7 times return plummets to 4.6x.
Wow. You are working just as hard, your crews are sweating just as much, but the profit completely evaporates.
The lesson there is that retention and route fit matter far more than acquiring cheap leads. You can tolerate a high cost to acquire a customer if you keep them for years and consistently sell them high-margin seasonal add-ons. But a leaky bucket destroys the underlying economics.
So to plug those leaks and maintain that high retention, you really have to rely on systems. You simply cannot run a modern, scalable home service business on a yellow legal pad and a disorganized whiteboard anymore.
You really can't. Technology has shifted from being a back-office luxury to a genuine competitive variable. It is how you close the handoff gaps between quoting, scheduling, and invoicing.
Right. Like if a crew finishes a job but the owner forgets to transfer the sticky note to the invoicing pile, you just did free labor.
Happens all the time. For solo operators, the sources point to platforms like Yardbook as a great starting point.
Okay, Yardbook.
But as firms grow into small to mid-size residential operations, systems like Jobber or Housecall Pro become mandatory.
For things like online booking and automated quotes.
Exactly. And crucial auto payments. You do not want to be chasing down $50 checks.
Yep.
And then for the heavy commercial work, enterprise systems like LMN or Aspire handle the complex job costing.
But the guiding principle isn't just to buy every piece of software on the market, right?
No, it's to use the leanest tech stack that provides a single system of record.
Makes sense.
But technology is only half of the shield here. The strategy emphasizes that regulatory compliance is not just some legal annoyance. It is actually a massive sales enabler.
This is critical if you eventually want to scale into those lucrative property management or HOA accounts we talked about earlier. You literally cannot even submit a proposal for a big commercial job without a certificate of insurance.
You won't even get in the door. You need general liability, workers' compensation, OSHA heat illness procedures for your outdoor crews.
Which is huge now.
Oh, massive.
Yeah.
And proper pesticide licensing.
Right.
And ignoring compliance leads to a trap that destroys countless growing companies. The IRS subcontractor trap.
Oh, man. I can see exactly how a well-meaning business owner falls into this. Like, it's April, the spring rush hits, the grass is suddenly 3 inches high everywhere, and you are drowning in work. You just panic.
It is the most common story in the industry.
You hire 3 guys off Craigslist, hand them company shirts, tell them to be at the shop at 7 a.m., and you pay them in cash or as 1099 independent contractors just to survive the week and avoid payroll taxes.
Yeah.
Boom, you've just created a massive liability.
A catastrophic one.
Uh.
Because IRS guidance on worker classification turns heavily on the right to direct and control the work.
Right.
If you are telling a crew when to show up, what tools to use, and what sequence to mow the lawns, they are employees, period.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you call them.
Wow.
Papering over permanent labor gaps by misclassifying workers as 1099 subcontractors creates massive legal and tax exposure. It is basically a slow-moving car crash for a young business.
So it all comes down to building a durable foundation from day one. When you pull all these threads together, the source provides a remarkably clear 90-day tactical checklist for launching, or honestly, even resetting, a firm in this space.
It's a great checklist.
Let's run through it. Step 1, pick a microzone. 2 to 4 zip codes and firmly reject absolutely everything else.
Crucial.
Step 2, set up your digital infrastructure for same-day lead response and mandatory autopay. No more chasing paper checks.
On that.
Step 3, launch with just one signature recurring plan. Don't try to build custom outdoor kitchens on day one. Just offer a weekly mow, edge, and blow.
Keep it simple.
Step 4, ask every single happy customer for a Google review to fuel that local search dominance. And finally, track your gross margins by route every single week.
It is basically a masterclass in operational discipline. It's designed to systematically remove friction from the buying process while maximizing the physical efficiency of the labor.
So, what does this all mean for you? The recurring theme across all these operational rules, the route density, the unit economics, is that landscaping, when done at the highest level of profitability, is practically a data and logistics industry in disguise.
That's exactly what it is.
You are optimizing nodes on a map just as much as you are cutting grass.
Which raises a really fascinating question to chew on.
Oh.
If the ultimate local monopoly isn't about owning the most expensive equipment, but about owning the densest neighborhood data map, understanding the exact square footage, mastering the micro-seasonality, and earning the trust of a single zip code, what other traditional local trades are waiting to be completely disrupted by someone treating them like a hyper-local logistics network?
Oh, that is a great thought to leave on. Next time you look out your window and see a landscaping truck parked in your neighborhood, ask yourself, are they just cutting grass or are they capturing data?
If you want more GTM playbooks like this, follow Neon Primer on Spotify. Neon Aliens builds the marketing systems your business actually needs to capture and convert leads. Learn more at neonaliens.com.